In fact, the name of the folder is Learning. The full title, because I want to speak like these people, was Constructivism and Collaborative Learning Excel in Excel. And I must admit that my experience has been a total failure. What I teach normally is real estate investment, mortgages, taxation, capital budgeting, all very sexy topics. And normally what I was planning to do is 80 or 90% of my time on all these very exciting things and assume that my students would be able to learn enough Excel to apply, because everything I do is numbers. I don't deal with language, just with numbers. And so I built a tool, an EduWare, where it's called Learning Excel in Excel, where I put everything they needed to learn Excel by themselves. That's the basis of constructivism. I didn't know the word a long time ago, but I read Piaget many years, well, I don't know how many years ago, too many years to remember. But basically it was in my head already. And empirically, I have learned something in primary school. Yeah. I have learned something in secondary school, probably. In university, I didn't learn much. Like most of us. The only thing I really learned is when I started to build my own knowledge, to be a constructivist. And think about yourself. What do you really know now? What you learn in school? What you learn at uni? Forget it. What you learn is what you've built by yourself. This is the idea. And like most of what I do now is something I learned actually quite recently. Excel in particular. I started to learn Excel, I don't know, I was 45 years old at least. I was really, really old already. And I built an instrument assuming that my bright young students would be able to learn by themselves. Bullshit. It doesn't work that way. Our students, and I say, no, I don't say that. I say, my students, School of Land Management, yours are probably much better than mine, but they don't learn by themselves. They're not only spoon-fed, they spoon-gorged. They spoon, you have to put the spoon and to feed and then to push down. And I really hate to admit it, like 80% of my time trying to teach Excel. So the learning didn't happen. The teaching and the kicking the ass happened a lot. Now, the other part, my other failure, it was a good day today, my other failure was the collaborative aspect. My naive idea was I'm going to distribute this instrument to my colleagues and they're going to, and I'll show you how, they're going to create some other examples. And that's why I wanted B-Man to stay. I sent that more than a year ago to all my colleagues at the business school. I'm not talking about education people, they're hopeless. I was thinking business school people. You know how many replies I got? Guess. 0. Not a single one of my colleagues ever replied. Though, 2 things. Excel is not meant only for numbers. And I have a story. Last year we had this, this forum with employers. What was it called, eh? We had this focus group with employers. And I was sitting at a table with one lady, the big head at a big accounting firm, and a banker and someone. And the lady tells us the story, and I think there was someone else around. Anyway, I'm not lying. I'm not making it up. And she said, I got a student applying in my firm in accounting. He was an audit specialist student, the best of the best. And I asked him just to try, why don't you enter some numbers? I give a list with numbers. And she says, he opened, and on the computer, of course. So he opened a Word document. He entered the word and he did tick, 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 number. Tick, 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 number. And I thought she was kidding. She was not kidding. The guy from BSP, the was sitting next to me said, yeah, that's what we get. They never heard, they seem never to have heard about Excel. And that bothers me. Not because I love Excel. I don't like Excel, actually. It's kind of dumb. It's Microsoft. It has to be dumb. I mean, there are much better ways to do spreadsheets. But that's what we have. It's, you know, why Excel? Because it's there. It's all around us. The point I want to make is Excel is not limited to numbers. So, and to show you why you can do more than numbers, that's what it looks like. Let me make a bit smaller so you can see the whole picture. That's what the Eduware looks like. It's a bunch of, let me simplify first. It's a bunch of components, and I'll come back to that. But the idea is you can do much more than numbers in Excel. One of my attempts now, which I find quite challenging, it's learning Fijian in Excel. So I wrote a little textbook. This is Word. And, you know, wait, it's coming. And the authors are myself and Savayera. One is Fijian, the other one is the idiot. It's a work in progress, of course. So at this stage, it's only a text, but, oops. I'm doing some painful work to turn it into an Excel component, and only the Fijian. Oh, I could do it. I did it also with Indonesian, but in Fijian, that's what it looks like. Now, if you don't know Fijian, and I guess it's quite normal, the scale of the screen is a bit too small, but there is something very bizarre about Fijian grammar that most Fijians know without knowing, because when you ask questions they cannot explain. It has to do with the pronouns. Depending on the number of subject and objects, the pronoun will change, the possessive will change, etc., etc. So, and we won't go into it, but here this is in Excel, how you check the rules and you verify that you use the proper pronouns. If you want to say they want to eat with us or you, the number of subject will influence the form of the pronoun and the number of invitees will also change. So if you have they, and if there are many, you will use era, vyakana vetakai kemani with them. But if there are only two, it will be erao. If you have three or more, it will be, tell me what it is. You see the Fijian, they don't know the grammar. Keito. One of the reasons is they don't teach Fijian grammar in Fiji, right? So that's a bit of a shame because it's a fascinating language and not that easy, contrary to assumptions. So where is my Keito? Yeah, this guy. Oh, so some. Oh, eratao, yeah, they. And the object will also change. You have the same issue with the meu, and you have even more complex rules with the possessive. The point is, this can be done in Excel. And if I were to teach a language, I would use Excel a lot. A lot. There are many, many ways to teach grammar with a very simple tool using if, not if, or, and, concatenate, and that stuff. So why did I say collaborative? Because I was, in my naivety, hoping that people would be interested in creating some example. I'll give you just some example of what it looks like. What I say learning Excel in Excel is because you are in Excel. You have all the visual parts of what to do, where to click, and then as you do something you practice in Excel. You're in Excel. You're not reading a book and using a spreadsheet. You are within the spreadsheet. And well, we can have a look at the... okay, the kangaroo jumps to the session, and the coconut jumps to the dashboard, the whole content. And so for those who know Excel, you see that we cover everything from the very beginning to macros. There is no Visual Basic at all. I keep it, I mean, every cell is legible. Every student can read every cell. There is nothing, there is no black box, so they can deconstruct as much as they want. And you have examples, and that's where I was sort of hoping to get some collaboration. Okay, all the examples so far, can you read? Not much, eh? All the examples are based on what, I do amortization table, mortgages, all sorts of stuff. And what I was hoping, I have one case of hotel management and I have one case of GIS. That's all I could create. But I was hoping that my colleagues in economics, my colleagues in accounting, in finance, in math, in physics, just prepare the problem, we'll turn it into Excel, and your students have access. The idea of this tool is everybody could use it, plug their own examples, and have the students learn Excel and their own stuff at the same time. But for this, I need my collaboration from my colleagues here. Yeah, but my campus is in Siberia, so you never come to visit me. So there is some room for small examples. Some of them are very basic. Some of them are quite complex, and there are room for a full other same approach. Here I have a full course teaching statistics in Excel, and those of you who are statisticians will realize there is more or less quite a bit of stuff. And what I was hoping is to get more from colleagues in other schools or in other departments. And indeed, this instrument is around, it's available. And I call for collaboration, plug your own stuff. You can plug it as a small or a few examples, or plug it, as I did here, as a totally separate instrument, but based on the same interface and understanding of Excel. This one on statistics, I did send it around, and the result has been similar. Thank you very much.